What's going on, everyone? I'm Big Sip, and welcome back. Today, wanted to take some time to take a look at the legendary T Alaska. We got a new update yesterday, and with it, Wargaming brought a whole truckload of balance changes. And one of the biggest changes happening to this ship, the Alaska, and honestly, I think this is the winner of the September 2021 update. In the background here, we have a game of domination on Land of Fire. And as you'll watch throughout the game, we can really see what this ship can do. Now, real quick, just talking about my commander build, I use Victor Einstein. He does give you twist and track as well as ingenious, so you can see how many ships are aiming at you and the direction of the closest ship. Full build can be found below in a link to my WoW's build page. But let's take a look at the different changes that Wargaming made to this ship. So starting with the accuracy. The radius of the max dispersion was decreased by 10%. That's pretty huge. So basically the circle of how far the shells could spread out once fired was reduced by 10%. Penetration of the AP shells increased by 5%. Repair party cooldown reduced from 60 to 50 seconds. And the amount of hit points regen per second was increased by 33%. Just absolutely monstrous changes to the ship. So remember, this ship is armed with 3 turrets, 3 guns, each 305 millimeters. It has the ability to hit the citadel of battleships at range now. Truly devastating main battery if you can manage to get them all on target. I will say I played about 20 games in the ship today. There's still a little squirreliness to the guns every now and then. It's not perfect grouping. There's almost always one shell from a turret that's going to be a little bit higher or lower. It's not laser accuracy that you're seeing with some of the Russian ships, but still it's pretty decent. HE still has a decent chance of starting fires. Hits pretty hard too, but honestly, I think this is going to be very much an AP boat now that's going to go out and just wreck other cruisers and battleships. So the first question is, were these changes needed for this ship? And this ship did need to be changed somehow. It didn't necessarily have or meet the potential that it needed to really be competitive at the tier. We'll see as the update goes on how well these changes really fit into the rest of the mix. But I will say, after playing the games today, I'll play this ship a lot more moving forward. A couple things I have noticed today is, let's take a look at the armor viewer here. This ship has true 32 millimeter bow armor, so it can tank some big shells. But you see, as we move to the side here, very large citadel can be absolutely devastated by the battleships at tier 7, and not to mention Yamatos or the other legendary tier battleships. So you got to be really careful with your positioning. But I do like, it has a little bit shorter reload time than battleships, right at 17 seconds for me. And it really has the ability to move around. You see here, we're starting to kite away. We want to put some distance between the Massachusetts and us. But that Massachusetts is pretty well broadside. Here, I was thinking I was going to get a pretty juicy shot with the HE. Fortunately, you can tell that ship most likely has prop mod installed because they got on a move there in a hurry. But I have to be careful at this point. So that big citadel real exposed, so I don't want to go completely broadside. See, I hit the brake. I'm trying to do some jukes here. The rudder shift and the throttle are responsive enough that you can really make those types of moves. But you see, I'm in a little bit of a situation here. I have 2 Massachusetts firing at me. I need to get through this turn, hopefully without being spotted. Unfortunately, I do get spotted, so I was hoping to maybe get behind that smoke screen, but it's not going to hold. So at this point, I want to go ahead and be aggressive, and this is where this ship starts to shine right now. So the increased penetration on the AP. This Massachusetts, when we start this encounter, is pretty close to full health. You can see right here I'm bouncing back and forth between the targets, trying to make sure I'm getting the optimal crossfire shot. Now, I'm able to do this thanks to Einstein. His base perk increases the turret traverse. And then I also have Ingenious, which also increases it a little bit further. Right here, you see I'm aiming right at gun level. I want to try to take out their guns. That is something this ship is good at. However, on the flip side, the gun and turrets on this ship are extremely large. They have big hitboxes. They do get disabled fairly frequently. But right there, that's the optimal engagement. You saw that 5 penetrations, a little over 10,000 in total damage. And now we're using that rudder shift, and I'm trying to dictate this battle a little bit more. At this point, I thought I was going to die here. But we'll see. This ship's survivability is pretty incredible. Right there goes the gun. Like I said, easily, very easily actually gets disabled, especially at close range like this. But right here, I'm quick enough and have good enough rudder shift that I'm able to get around the Massachusetts without them getting a big salvo. Once they do angle up a little bit, I do go for the superstructure you saw there. But now, instead of trying to get just one turret on them, I'm going to go ahead and switch to the Edinburgh. The Edinburgh was AFK, but this gives us a really good example of how good the pin angles are on this ship. You know, if you look at the mini-map, they're pretty well angled, but that goes right through their armor and gets 2 citadels. So it was at that moment, that was purely a test. I saw that person was AFK, so let's just see what the guns can do. And then right here, again, going for the superstructure and 10,000 superstructure damage. Just absolutely solid, and I'm really excited for what this ship can do from now on. Originally, I was thinking the Stalingrad would be my heavy cruiser I would want to go with at Legendary tier moving forward. But these buffs to the Alaska really make it a relevant player and a lot of fun to play, quite frankly. See, we did have a CV in the game here. Up to 16 planes shot down. Like most American ships, this ship has some phenomenal AA. I will say the one trade-off that you have with Einstein. So if you wanted to go with Scott or maybe Beepley, get that fully packed legendary skill, that might be a better use than refill station that I have with Einstein. Getting an additional heal, additional radar charge, and one more sonar, especially with some of the destroyers we're seeing. A lot of Shimikazes out there, the Klebers. With the length of the radar, you don't really have a lot of chances to knock out ships. You typically only have 2 full salvos. So you really either need help from your friendly teammates, or you just have to be extremely accurate, have the right ammo loaded to be able to get the kill in a hurry. So having those extra radar charges allows you to have more opportunities to spot those destroyers later in the game. Well, eventually we do chase down this CV. You see is pretty well a trounce. Great game from the blue team overall. I tell you what, I'm excited about this ship. You know, I'm a little bummed with the update overall that they didn't give us some more bureau projects, but at least they did buff the one heavy cruiser that we have at the tier right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this adapts and how other players adapt to playing it and playing against it. All right, that's all we have for this one. If you have any questions or concerns, please leave them below down in the comments. If this is your first time coming to the channel, consider hitting subscribe. We'll have a lot more videos coming at you shortly. Have a good one.